And then in the main event, Sting takes on Vader for that vacated international world title, which we talked about, and it goes 14 minutes. Sting wins with a splash from the top rope. It's a good match, not one that many fans talk about as far as the Sting and Vader rivalry, but the Sting victory helped set up the unification match the following month, which we're going to get to next week, and we'll discuss that, which is Sting and Flair, and they unified those titles, that international and the world title. But man, what a fun event this was. As we told our listeners, you were not on this pay-per-view, but you're working a lot with Brad Armstrong and Bobby Eaton. But this month, you find yourself involved in the genesis of one of the more memorable stories from 1994, Arn. And that, of course, is the Stud Stable. This interaction between you and the Stud Stable was recorded on May 2nd episode of Saturday Night. It wouldn't air until May 28th, buddy. But this interaction was set up with an interview that takes place earlier in the evening as Colonel Parker surprised the WCW audience when he introduced his new bodyguard, a favorite of the Arn Anderson show, sweetheart of a guy and certified badass, the human Vegematic, Meng. That was his bodyguard. But Meng, then known as Haku, had been with WWF, man, all the time. That was the company he'd been a part of. But here's a completely different presentation. He's in black. He had the suit on. He had the aviator sunglasses, and he had that fingerless fighting gloves on his hands. And Colonel Parker claimed the next person to put his hands on him would need to think about facing Meng. And then adding to this whole mystique of Meng, Gene Okerlund tries to interview him, and Meng would not speak at all. And for the longtime fans, Arn, this is almost a throwback to the Big Bubba days when Jim Cornette had Big Bubba with him. But we know you love Meng, spent time with him. But what did you think about him finally coming over to WCW?
Oh, I loved it. I love that guy. Every time I see him now, I hug his neck, give him a kiss on the head.
I love it.
As tough and as superhuman tough as he is, if he was your friend, there is not a thing he would, we use cliches like give you the shirt off his back or whatever. There's nothing. He would lay down in the road and let a car run over him to keep from hitting you. He is that kind of guy, and the island people, they're so loyal across the board in our business. But I think they're all in agreement of one thing. To this day, Haku is still the world champion, just uncrowned.
A certified badass, as you call him.
Whew. And you know what? A great worker.
Yeah.
People don't realize back, when he's doing the Islander thing. I mean, here's a guy, he could take a guy 6'5" and just from standing in front of him, just bring up a kick and kick over his head. It was unbelievable how athletic he was.
For a guy his size and stature and build.
6 foot, 6'1", 300 pounds.
Athletic is all
Jump
hell.
up and kick over your head. I mean, come on.